We continue our reading of Lest We Forget, a daily devotional by author George R. Knight. Today's reading, April 25, Redefining the First Angel's Message, Part 5. My reward is with me to give every man according as his work shall be. Revelation 22:12. Yesterday we left James White publicly thundering at Joseph Bates that the latter was confused regarding the judgment. In his belief, it was prior to the second advent. Such a teaching, James declared, is certainly without foundation in the Word of God. For James, the great day of judgment will be 1,000 years long and would begin at the second advent. As to a pre-advent judgment, White had observed that it is not necessary that the final sentence should be given before the first resurrection, as some have thought, for the names of the saints are written in heaven, and Jesus and the angels will certainly know who to raise and gather to the New Jerusalem. Thus, as late as September 1850, White opposed his wife and Bates on the topic of a pre-advent judgment. But that would change gradually. Circumstantial evidence for White's shift appears in the review of February 1854, in which he published a piece by J.N. Loughborough that tied the first angel's message to the pre-advent judgment. Even though Loughborough had not written it for publication, James notes in a short introduction that he had printed it anyway because it meets inquiries which have been presented to us. Any questions about James' position were put to rest in January 1857, when he published a full-blown treatment of the pre-advent judgment under his own name. Both the just and the evil, he penned that month, will be judged before they are raised from the dead. The investigative judgment of the house or church of God will take place before the first resurrection. So will the judgment of the wicked take place during the 1,000 years of Revelation 20, and they will be raised at the close of that period. The terminology of investigative judgment had earlier that month found its way first in print in an article by Elon Everts. By 1857, the Sabbatarian Adventists had widely accepted the teaching of a pre-advent judgment. The development of the doctrine of the pre-advent judgment nicely illustrates how God leads the understanding of his followers across time. He is always guiding as his people seek a better grasp of his word. His task is to provide that word. Ours is to study it prayerfully as we seek to know God's will and ways ever more fully. And this concludes our reading today of Lest We Forget.